Okay, so I was just watching, well, actually, I was watching a bunch of videos that were interviews with Mark Hamill on Star Wars Episode 8. And at least the way the videos show, it actually kind of makes it look like he's sort of trashing out the new movie, which, I mean, at a first glance is actually quite unprofessional. And it's sort of like, dude, they haven't even been to see your movie yet. But the videos were also, like, edited and stuff like that, and I really don't trust the media, so that's besides the point. At any rate, Mark Hamill brought up one point that I actually wholeheartedly agree with. And that is that, like, in Episode 7, his character didn't do shit. Now, if you have not seen Star Wars Episode 7, shut off the video right now, because this is literally going to be about the ending of the movie. You have been warned. Anyways, at the end of the movie, there is a scene where Finn gets fucked up by Kylo Ren, alright? And Kylo Ren reaches his hand out and he tries to do the Force thing, and you see the fucking lightsaber coming out of the snow just like it did on Hoth in Episode 5. And the fucking thing goes flying. It looks like it's going to him, but then it goes right past his head and someone catches it. And it turns out that it's Rey. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, was cool. And no offense to Daisy Ridley, because she's fucking awesome. I follow her on Instagram, and she's just like a really cool chick. And, you know, her character was just great. And it was also nice to see that, like, they really sort of, like, you know, they wanted it to be, like, really centered on the new characters. They didn't want this movie to be completely dependent on the old characters. I have respect for all that, okay? But when I went to theaters and I saw that lightsaber go flying by Kylo Ren's head, I swear to God, I thought Luke was gonna fucking catch it, and he was just gonna own house on Kylo Ren, and it would have just been like, fucking yeah, you know. But then it was Rey, and admittedly, there was kind of a part of me, I mean, like, the whole scene was just awesome, but there was like a mild part of me that had that expectation that was just sort of like, oh, you know? And I'm sure that if you asked J.J. Abrams about it, he'd say that, like that's, you know, what you'd expect, though, you know, kind of a thing. And it's like, not really, man. I wasn't expecting Luke to come out, but when the lightsaber flew by Kylo Ren's face, yeah, absolutely. I fucking thought Luke was going to be catching that shit. And if you think about it, if that had happened, if Luke had fucking been there and he had caught that lightsaber, I fucking guarantee that the entire audience would have just been like, yes! And again, no offense to Daisy Ridley, and I think that it's really cool that she, you know, fought Kylo Ren and stuff, but Kylo Ren had been training in the Force, and it's very obvious that, you know, Ren is powerful in the Force, but she's had, like, no training whatsoever. She's had no training with a lightsaber. Luke had to, like, learn this shit. Obi-Wan taught him this shit. And even after he'd had training from 2 Jedi Masters, Darth Vader still kicked his ass in Empire Strikes Back, you know? It's like there was like a build-up. There was like a steady build-up. And it's sort of like, I feel that if that had been Luke standing there, if he had caught the lightsaber, you kind of get the sense that they're connected in some way. Well, actually, I mean, technically, yeah, Luke is his uncle, right? I don't know, whatever. They're related, so it's like, I highly doubt Luke would have killed him, but maybe Luke would have, like, fucked him up and, you know, just let him go. You know, and that would have been really fucking cool. And it also would have been appropriate because it's sort of like, it could have been like, okay, now your training begins. And don't get me wrong, like, I mean, you know, I'm also saying this, like, this is all a lot of preconceived shit that I'm saying because I really don't know what their plans are for Episode 8. If I had to guess, I think that they would follow the formula in that there's going to be some sort of big reveal, like in Empire Strikes Back. I don't think that it's going to be the exact same, where they're going to be like, oh, hey, Kylo Ren, he's your brother, or, you know, what the fuck ever. I mean, that might or might not wind up being the case, but, like, I think there will be some big, like, drop, like, you're like, oh, fuck, I did not see that coming. And I think that they hired the right director to do that. Episode 8 is sort of uncharted territory. It's like, I really think that they're going to try and surprise us with it. So a lot of what I'm saying probably isn't really fair. And again, I'm not shitting on The Force Awakens. I love The Force Awakens. I loved all the characters. I enjoyed the movie beginning to end. Like, I have no beef with it. It was really just that one thing that Mark Hamill said, like, about, you know, his character not really having anything to do. And I was just sort of like, wow, you know, that one scene, how much more epic would that have been if it had been him? But, I don't know, it's just a thought.